1,000.
No.
Hi, this is Heather Eden, compiler and author of Balance for Busy Moms, a stress-free guide to tranquility. I'm here with a couple of the co-authors from the book, and we are going to talk about the book and how this is going to serve to help all moms from prenatal to menopause, and have some conversations around our chapters and have some fun. So first I want to talk about the mission of the book and why I had the urge to put this together and compile an anthology with these amazing women to help moms across the world. As a graduate of IIN, I have a philosophy of the circle of life, and the philosophy comes from IIN, and it's 12 areas in your life that need to be satisfied in order to have inner peace and inner tranquility and happiness. So the 12 areas are spirituality, creativity, finances, career, education, health, physical activity, home cooking, home environment, relationships, social life, and joy. So what I did was I took these areas and I expanded on them and found these amazing coaches from around the globe to come together and write a chapter to help mom in this area. For instance, spirituality. We have a co-author that writes about spirituality when it comes to parenting. And relationships. We have a couple of co-authors that are writing on relationships, with yourself and your children and even your spouse. So what I did was when I came to a realization in my own life as a mother and as a woman and even a human that, I have been able to get into that peace and that tranquility quicker than I had been able to before and satisfy these areas in my own life. I wanted to extend this and help other mothers find their own path to tranquility and find peace within their life and learn how to juggle motherhood and all of its complexities and find joy, in it. Because of course we can all find joy in our children because they're precious, right? But I say they're angels when they're sleeping. Sometimes, but it takes a lot of values and principles to parent and to walk this life with fulfillment and to be able to share it with others. And I think that this book is a go-to guide for every mother from prenatal to menopause to read through and find inspiration and find another mother to relate to. And I'm just so proud to offer this book to all moms, and I'm so proud to give every mom a chance to learn about all the moms in the book and learn that there's community for you, and there is help and support. So we have a few co-authors here with us today, and before I start talking with them, I'll talk about a little bit about my chapter called Tranquility in the Kitchen. And it's lesson number 1. The book is a book on lessons. And, as a former teacher for 5 years, I kind of got in the habit of, making everything a lesson. So, of course, my first book would come out to be a book of lessons. And life is full of lessons. Yeah, so I think that these are really amazing lessons to give to you. And they're not hard to swallow lessons. They're very gentle and they're very uplifting. It's a book to, curl up in bed with some tea or your nice cozy chair and enjoy yourself and give yourself some me time and read through it and find, a common thread and a common ground with the other mothers that are writing this book with me. And they're professional mothers. They are professional, certified. Most of them are certified coaches. There's a few that are just professionals. Like we have one professional writer. She lives in Alaska, and she's talking about how nature can help each and every one of us get closer to ourselves and happiness and joy and tranquility. But a lot of the coaches who are writing in this book are certified in health, life, or business. And sorry to get off the subject, but let's go back to my chapter, Tranquility in the Kitchen. I'm writing about how health really starts in the kitchen, in your house. Not only within yourself, it starts within yourself, but to help yourself and your family get healthy, it starts with how you maintain your kitchen, how you bring the foods into your kitchen, what kind of foods that you cook and prepare, and that chapter gives you some insight on that. So let's hear from another co-author. Let's see, Angie.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Angie. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yes. So let's see. Let's talk about what you wrote about.
All right. So first, if you want, let me introduce myself to the listeners, and then I can talk about why I was involved in your project and then my chapter. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. So my name is Angie Topbaş, and I'm a certified holistic health coach and a member of the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. I basically try to inspire families to lead a healthier and happier life through my individual and group health coaching programs. So I support moms around setting and measuring goals, health and lifestyle goals. I teach them how to make healthier choices at grocery stores and restaurants, and I guide them on preparing quick, easy meals, healthy but tasty meals and snacks at the same time for the whole family. I received my nutrition education from IIN, like some of the other co-authors did, Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York City. And then I set up my own health coaching business, Luscious Nutritious, in 2010. I'm originally from Istanbul, Turkey. I was born and raised in Turkey, and I came to the United States about 15 years ago to go to graduate school. So I studied at Thunderbird in Arizona and got my master's degree. And then I worked at several international corporations for many years. And then, after I got married and had a baby, I started thinking about, what I should be doing next. So after my daughter had turned 3 years old, I decided to go to IAN and get a certification to be a health coach. And so that's how it all started. I mean, I can go on and on about myself, but I think we're talking more about the book because today is the big day. It's our launch day. So.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you. Sure. What did you think and feel like when I approached you to become a co-author for this book?
Sure. Actually, well, to be honest with you, I mean, first, when you approached me with this project, the title of the book, of course, grabbed my attention. Being a busy mom myself, I have a 7-year-old daughter. But then I was going through a very painful period in my life at the time, when we had our conversation. My father passed away in November. After too much emotional and physical suffering. So that's why I wasn't sure whether, I should be jumping into a project like that instinctively, immediately. So I guess I didn't say yes to it immediately. But then it was the second night after we talked about this project. I woke up in the middle of the night with like butterflies in my stomach and like with an urgency to say yes to you.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's the truth, and I think it was meant to be. So
let's visit that right there. It's interesting because when we have a lot of stuff going on in our life, sometimes all of our emotional stuff gets in the way of divine opportunity, right? So
exactly, and I mean that was my feeling that I think I've kind of tried to change my way of looking into life and living my life in a different way after after suffering for a long time. So.
So what I want to encourage the reader is, or the mom that potentially wants to buy this book, is that sometimes all of our stuff gets in the way, and sometimes we're like, oh, that looks like a pretty good book, but I'll just do it. I have too much going on right now. I'll get to that later, and then that urgency, the butterflies come up, and that's what you really want to listen to. That intuition that says, I need that book. I want to grab it. That excitement right there. That excitement for life and that want and that desire for a good thing for you, that's what we should go after.
Yes, I
agree
100%. Yes, because I mean there are always excuses, and excuses will come up, no matter what. But the important thing is just do it. Just get out there and do it if you have a feeling that it will be a good thing for you. So, yes.
Well, good. I'm so glad you came aboard, Angie. And your chapter is teaching moms how to be their own health coach, right?
Yes, true. My chapter is lesson number 12, and the title of my chapter is Discovering Your Inner Health Coach. So, I was thinking about, like what to write. Of course, I'm doing health coaching for families, but when you approach me with the book project, I kept thinking about what to write. And then I said, when I talk to moms, I realized that most of the moms are actually looking for a healthier and happier life. But like you were saying before, some things get on the way, or sometimes moms, they either don't want to do it alone, or they just don't know where to start this process.
Right.
So in my chapter, discovering your inner health coach, I give moms some tips on the key areas of their life, some areas of the circle of life that you were talking about before, so that they can get started right away.
That is so empowering. Well, I think moms are going to really appreciate that, just to help, guide them to be their own health coach and for themselves and for their family. So let's talk about as we're talking about empowerment and being your own health coach. Let's look at Sarah's chapter. Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome. Now, Sarah, you talk about empowering mom to parent through gardening. Can you explain a little bit about your chapter and how that can help mom?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm Sarah Mastrani Levy, for whoever is listening, and I'm a holistic health coach, and I'm really excited about this collaboration. And I just really found that I have the mother of 4 children. I'm a single parent, and I homeschool my children, and in addition to having my business, and I found that there are so many shoulds and woulds and expectations and even government status quos of growth curves and things like that put an awful lot of guilt into the minds of new mothers. And so often they're convinced that their baby is not up to par, or that they are full of guilt within themselves. They could be mothering better, or how they could be like their mothers, or what they should be doing so their kids will meet the growth curve. And I just discovered through feeding my children and being really insistent on getting them the best nutrition possible, growing my own vegetables, that there has to be some sort of acceptance that not everything, even when you give all of the plants the same nutrition and they're all of the seeds, there will be some that will thrive and there will be some that will fail, and there will be some that it just really doesn't matter what you do. They have their own growth curve. It doesn't matter how much you give them the best everything. They have their own developmental rate. And I found that gave me a lot of learning as my children.
You're cutting out, Sarah.
And also, you'll have to read the book. Can you hear me? Hello?
You just keep cutting out a little bit. That's okay. We hear you, though.
Okay. So you'll have to read the book if you want to know what the snail bush is, and to know how it was a gift to help me to understand allowing the things that I like and I, with a judgment call within myself, don't like about the way things run in the house, and how the garden actually taught me how to get acceptance and integrate everyone into the home, and all of the thoughts and behaviors and developmental processes that by listening to outside sources I might have otherwise made a judgment call or had guilty feelings as a parent.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. I love how you can take the process of gardening and each individual plant, and it's like God gives us these things to learn from, and how it resembles our children and their growth process, and how each living thing should be accepted for what it is and who they are. I love it. It's just amazing. So there's a lot to learn there, moms. And, you're right, there is some guilt there. Moms all experience. And that's really what we're trying to help mom let go of, that nasty feeling that holds us back from a lot of the joyful things that life has to offer. And thank you, Sarah.
With pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So letting go of guilt. I think we have a co-author here that is experienced in relationships. Wendy, your chapter is helping moms with relationships and letting go of a lot of things. Is Wendy here?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Wendy.
Hello. Good morning. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey there.
Woohoo! To this book. It's such a great book.
Yes.
I love this book. Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome. So tell us, Wendy, how your chapter helps mom free herself from guilt and the negative feelings that we sometimes put so much pressure on ourselves as moms to live up to status quo, like Sarah was saying, and to the standards of society and everything, and how mom can learn. You can't tell mom exactly what's in your chapter, but talk a little bit, give her a little bit of taste of what's to come.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's been my experience with clients and students that the one glaring, repeatable thing is that women, especially mamas, don't value the enormous gift of mothering that they offer. And so what I feel is so important is to activate the womb wisdom, because we all have it. We have that powerful, unstoppable energy within us that is seeking to express itself, that is seeking to create. And so my chapter offers 4 pathways to activate your womb wisdom. And
awesome.
I break it down and for people, and it's a thumbnail. It's a thumbnail of what I truly have practiced and continue to practice in my life. I feel that boundaries are really a big issue for a lot of people, and especially when you're a parent. I joke that getting into relationships is like putting Miracle-Gro on any areas within you that are wanting healing, and it's amplified exponentially when you become a parent. Mm-hmm. It's because these little beings are so dependent on you, but they have needs. They have needs, and sometimes our needs and their needs might be opposed. And so how do we take care of ourselves as we are, whether it's a book that you're writing, whether it is clients, a practice that you're growing, whether it's a movement, like I have the Million Mamas movement, whether it is, working on a new restaurant, whatever it is, there's always a requirement for us to give back to ourselves first. And so I'm a huge proponent of meditation and getting still, because I believe that is a way that you can source and supply infinite energy, infinite wisdom. And the Quakers based everything on taking 20 minutes before they made a decision, before they created an action plan. They spent 20 minutes in the stillness. And
the Quakers,
right? The Quakers. I mean, and if you think about anything that's really occurred in our life, the undergirding of that has to do with going into the stillness and getting really clear about what your next indicated action is. So
absolutely.
For me, activating the womb wisdom, knowing what your voice is, having a voice. I'm the mother of a daughter, so for me, I really feel that having a girl knowing her voice, having boundaries, trusting herself is paramount. And it's what's being called forth in our society. If you look at all the structures in the world, politically, educationally, financially, that are just crumbling, it's because the old paradigm, the old patriarchal paradigm, it's not working. So we need to bring in something that really works.
I agree. And meditation is a key, definitely, in bringing about, creating our own destiny and finding that stillness. So thank you, Wendy, and I cannot wait for moms to read all about this womb wisdom. Now, one more question before we move into that important subject of meditation. What exactly, let's see, is the womb wisdom for all moms of all ages, or is this something that pregnant women can really, I guess, cradle more?
Your womb wisdom is that wisdom within you that is eternal.
Ooh.
It is not, it's actually not even gender specific, but we as women have it so natively because we truly hold destiny in our hands, in our bodies. And so it's for women that are not even pregnant. It's for pregnant mamas. It's for women wanting to be pregnant. It's for mothers. It's for women in the wisdom years after they're in menopause. It doesn't go away. That womb wisdom is always there, and it's really about activating it, nursing it, cultivating it, activating it, and making it welcome. Because that's, it's not one of the most important awarenesses that I've had along my path is that we really cannot make anything happen. We just have to create the receptivity within our awareness to allow things to unfold. Because when you're in that receptive space, which is also very feminine, you are able to create from a place that can be sustainable. And it doesn't have to be receptive. Yeah, and it's not, we're not talking about ruffles and bows and back flowers and that kind of thing. Not that that's not beautiful, because compassion and receptivity is fierce. It's fierce. So I'm talking about activating that fierce womb wisdom that is within all of us.
Well, that's an amazing thing to teach moms, and thank you so much, Wendy. Receptive means actually able to and willing to receive something. So moving into meditation. In meditation, Jamie, you can talk about how moms are more able to receive, and like Wendy says, being receptive and allowing our life to move through us. How does meditation sort of help us get to that place where we're more open and receptive?
This is Jamie.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what it does is it helps to let go of all of the distractions that we have in our life, whether it's thoughts and feelings and emotions that we are getting. And believe it or not, we're picking up so many thoughts, feelings, and emotions from other people. Just like you were saying, is that we're receiving so much information, and it can get overwhelming at times. And a lot of that information, you're not sure which way to go.
Right.
When you're able to sit down and really center yourself and go, what actually is going to create the most for me today? Is it going to going to the park with the kids, or is it going to be working on a project that I need to work on for work to create more income for my family? What is it that's going to create the most today? And sometimes it's taking a nap.
Oh, yes.
Or it's, doing something with the kids. But it helps when you're able to just take even 5 minutes out of your day and just listen to your breath and really let go of all of those other feelings, emotions, and things that are popping into your head, and let go of those and really center on your own inner knowing.
I can already hear the quiet stillness here in your voice. Everything got so peaceful. I love it. And it just reminds me of, we have this launch day and we're excited. We're rocking it. We're at like 49 on Amazon now in motherhood. And we've hit bestsellers. So we're celebrating. Hooray. But in the midst of it, I really needed to take a few minutes and bring my kids to the park nearby and just kind of relax and get that, we call it woosah, just get some inner peace there for a minute. Because, sometimes excitement, too much excitement, everyone gets a little noisy and, things are going on. And, the funniest thing is sometimes when the best things are happening, that's when you can have conflict, and that's when you can have, things get out of balance, because, not everyone is able to handle excitement and as someone else. Do you agree?
I do, and I think that our kids pick up on it. And so what you see in our children is a reflection of what's going on with you. So, right. And a lot of times they, like you said, they may not know how to handle your excitement. They're feeling all of your, excitement and anxiety, and they're like, ah! So right. By you being able to center yourself, your kids will be able to relax a little bit more and realize mom's okay, everything's good.
Mom's okay.
It's all good. But a lot of times they don't even understand what's going on. But these kids nowadays are so intuitive, and they pick up so much stuff. And so it's even helpful for them to realize that they can have a 5-minute time where they're able to just relax.
Yes, absolutely. And moms, Jamie's chapter. What is the name of your chapter, Jamie? Can you talk a little bit about your chapter and who you are?
Yeah, my chapter is Moments of in Meditation. And I get that we as mothers a lot of times don't have an hour, and there's lots of different ways to meditate, and there's lots of information out there, but we really don't have time to really do that. And so what can I do today, even if it's just for 5 minutes, to reconnect with my center, reconnect with my knowing, and move from there, from a grounded place. And so I have tips in there and exercises that you can do to do anywhere that you're standing in line at the grocery store or driving your kids to the school. You're able to really reconnect with yourself even in those moments.
So that's fabulous.
Yes.
That's great. Well, I look forward to reading and sharing, all these chapters with moms, but meditation is like, let's start.
Yes.
Yes. So let's talk about a little joy. Yesterday, was breaking it down. I had a little dance break, and my kids were like, "What are you doing, Mom?" I'm like, "Come on, let's dance." And my son is like, "Oh, I'm just getting too old to dance, Mom. It's not like it used to be." I'm like, "Oh, come on. You're going to be 11. You're never too old to dance with Mom." But let's see. Dancing is such a stress relief, and one of the chapters in this book is written by Julie Schwartz, and she writes about dancing and how it is so good for our health. So, hi, Julie.
Hi, Heather. This is Julie Sheet. I'm a certified health coach also, and I also own a dance studio with my daughter, who we focus on 3 to 18-year-olds as our core group, and then we have a couple of adult classes also. And I agree, movement of any kind is so important, and learning to love dance regardless of your age, regardless of your skill level, is very important. I also focused on my chapter, it's actually called Unplug to Plug In, and I also offer tips in there of how to take technology and use it for your benefit rather than detriment. It's been a big blessing in our life, but it's also a curse. There's too many children and moms, adults alike, that spend too much time focused on that little computer screen and forget to experience the joys in their lives and their moments to dance. So my chapter, although it is about joy, it also offers concrete steps of how you can take some of the time that you currently do have with your family and change the focus and switch it around a little bit to get everybody more engaged, reduce some of that stress. And we all know that when your family's got a lot less stress, the mom in general has a lot less stress too. So
Julie, thank you so much for those concrete steps. We moms need concrete steps sometimes just to help us, focus on, what are some simple steps that we can take to get to this goal in mind. So thank you so much, Julie, for that. And we look forward to reading. I look forward to reading your chapter again. And I just want to encourage moms, go out and get this book. It's healing in all facets. One thing that, we need in healing, like on the topic of healing, I had a conversation with someone about they were doing a juice cleanse or healing from sort of sickness and disease, and they healed, but their mindset was still off, so they actually got sick again. So we need to realize the importance of the whole body health, and that's mind, body, and spirit. And a co-author here is a mind fit coach. And Loretta, can you talk to us a little bit about getting our minds fit and how it relates to being healthy? Is Loretta here? Oh, okay. I guess Loretta dropped off. But anyway, look forward to that chapter. It's amazing. A mind fit coach, or getting your mind fit, is another aspect of being healthy, in the whole body healing, whole body, mind, and spirit. So on a little juicy note, we have a Tantra love coach, Lisa. She has a chapter to help you and your spouse connect intimately. And that is so important when it comes to relationships because moms, we can get so busy and we can get so homely at times. Oh my goodness, I go to the store with a bun and jogging pants on, and then I go and I'm all, I get beautified up, and then I get like, can you coach me? And I get a conversation and everything, and then, but when I go to the store and I'm all homely, I don't get any conversation, so. And it just goes for my relationship with my partner, when I connect and I feel beautiful on the inside and I show love, we get what we, give. So, Lisa, share with us a little bit about your practice and what you have given to moms in this book.
Perfect. Thank you, Heather. So I'm Lisa Rizzoli, and I am a Tantra educator. And I've been teaching Tantra for 5 or 6 years, where it's actually the term Tantra. I've actually been doing it for a really, really long time. So in my chapter, I share a little bit about that and some of the principles that happened to me. For example, an orgasmic birth with my first child. And I share about that information in the book, and it's really kind of one of those things that people don't really realize what we do as women to take those moments of, we can look at it as pain, but there's a transformation that can happen, and we can transmute that pain into this very pleasurable experience. So I talk about that a little bit in the book. And then also, the title of my chapter is A Busy Mom's Most Important Love Affair, and I really tap into that love affair with ourselves. So like what you were talking about, when we get dressed up and we do this stuff and really have that thing that gives us some confidence, but I'm also really tapping into the confidence that we have inside. Right. So really, even if you're looking in the mirror and you go, gosh, I look homely, or whatever it is, I'm going to come in and say, well, wait a minute, let's come back to that really confident place, because for me, in my confidence and in that energetic, really like, hey, I'm this sexual being, and I'm like, it's there. It's just, it exudes out of my pores. And so it doesn't matter what I'm wearing. It doesn't matter if I have makeup on. It doesn't matter all these other things. It just kind of creeps out into my energetic field, and it's out there. And so I do feel that, and part of the chapter, I'm really bringing that juiciness into moms. Bring that juiciness in and realize that it doesn't matter if you're in sweats or not. You're a beautiful, sexy woman, and sexuality that we have as women just can really be out there when we're really in our juiciness, and the clothing doesn't matter, and the other things don't matter. It's that real inner core and inner confidence that we need to have. So I talk about that, creating that juicy feeling within ourselves, and how we can get connected with that all the time and in any time, when the kids are doing whatever the kids are doing, and we're, distracted from our own beings. We need to tap back into that love affair that we have with ourselves, so that we can help our children. And we want our children to be confident. We want our children to have self-esteem. We want them to have self-worth. We want to have that. So as parents, I think it's so important for us to model that. And how can we model that but to really live it and be in it? So the more we are in our own juiciness, the more we give to the children. And I have grandchildren now. I have 3 children of my own and then 3 grandchildren right now. And boy, it's different being a grandma than being mom. But I do the same kind of principles with my grandkids as well, as I just really emphasize their worthiness and their inner creative juiciness that they can have, and really be in that space with ourselves.
Yeah, I think it's really just a shift in our perspective, of how we view ourselves, and getting more clear and more still and moving in that place of tranquility and balancing it all will help us become, all moms become more okay with that juiciness, every day, all day, and just, be free in our body and love every part of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I think that's great, Lisa. Thank you so much for helping moms in that area.
And thank you, Heather, for really putting this together and making your dream become a reality, and for all of us.
Yes, thank you. You're welcome. I love it. I love it. So on a spiritual side, because a lot of this project was very spiritual to me. Not only with meditation but with prayer. I found a spiritual health coach, which is amazing. And Teresa, are you there? Okay, well, Teresa dropped off. But Teresa she is our health coach and spiritual coach as well. So check out her chapter. It's amazing. And on the health side of things, I think everyone is bringing mom to a closer sense of whole body, mind, and spirit health. But when it comes to true body health, our gut is the main concern. And we have Ellen, who is a certified health coach and gluten-free health coach diva. She is writing a chapter on happy bellies. Happy mama bellies. Ellen, are you there?
I am here.
Hi, Ellen. Can you share a little bit about your chapter?
Sure, I would love to. And please, if you have questions, just stop me along the way. Okay. So it's called the Happy Gluten-Free Belly. And I have a bachelor's in music education and a master's in early childhood, and I wanted to combine my experience while I am a health coach for all ages, anybody who's gluten-free and needs help either starting a gluten-free diet or hopping back on the gluten-free wagon if they've had problems. I love the idea of being able to advocate for and help children. So that's why I wrote the chapter really geared towards little ones. It's called the Happy Gluten-Free Belly.
That's so cute.
I think all of us can relate to the idea of seeing our kids or our grandkids going, or if you haven't seen it, you can imagine when they go to a birthday party or even a school event, and all the kids are eating cupcakes and pizza, and not that I advocate that on a 24/7 basis anyway, but those special times when they're faced with a situation like that and they cannot eat it, they have to stand and watch. It's sad. It's difficult. So this my chapter was really written with an eye towards helping parents become educated, learning what gluten-free is all about, learning what gluten actually is all about.
Yeah.
Really listening carefully to their kids and their kids' complaints when they have a bellyache, tummy ache. Really paying attention to the signs and understanding and educating themselves about gluten, so that if it becomes an issue, if it's on their radar screen and they have to do gluten-free, that they are empowered to do it well, to do it with health in mind.
Well, that is so great because, this is actually the talk of health right now. It's kind of on the forefront of, nutrition and dietary supplements, what we can do to, get rid of gluten out of our diets, but at the same time live a fulfilled, kind of like eat fulfilled. Some people tell me they have a lot of complaints like, oh, I just don't feel full, when I'm eating gluten-free. And just to clarify that, can you give just one little tip on how you can feel full eating gluten-free and what it is that is keeping moms from feeling full?
Well, it's funny that you should bring that up because one of the classic symptoms of people who have issues with gluten, and that means whether you're diagnosed with celiac disease or whether you have gluten intolerance. And in my book, they're all the same. I know that they're not technically
goes back to our ancestral diet and the paleo diet. We really do better on, raw fruits and vegetables and, raw meats. But, we can't really eat a lot of raw meats, so many people end up cooking them. So,
I think going back to the being full, what I was going to say to you was that before I was diagnosed with celiac, for many, many years, I'm talking back to my childhood, I would eat and I would get bloated. I didn't know that it was bloat. I just figured that I had a tummy ache because I always assumed that I ate too much. And as I got older into my teenage years and then into college and just post-college, I did a major number on my self-esteem because I would tell myself that I was, and I hesitate to even use this language, but back then this is what I would tell myself I was a fat pig and that I had no self-control and that I overate all the time. Well, wouldn't you know, many, many years later, because I wasn't diagnosed until I was in my early 50s, I found out that the bloat was for a reason. It was from the gluten. That's what was making me bloated, and that's what was making me so full. Well, I went gluten-free, and not only did my belly issues clear up, but my hair loss got better. I was also diagnosed with alopecia, and my hair grew back.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, it really addressed a number of different issues. But the point that you asked about being full, it's so amazing now to eat and to eat a reasonable amount of food, and then afterwards to feel satisfied and not bloated.
That's good.
It just feels great.
Well, there's a lot of healing in this book, and a lot of love, and I would say, just by reading a couple of chapters, I had some tears, and some laughter. So, moms, get ready for an amazing book to have at your bedside. And the mission of this book goes back to serving moms across the world. And I just want to, before I keep going, I just want to thank you, Ellen, and everybody else on the call. But this is a guidebook to overcome stress, unhappiness, toxic energy, and unhealthy habits by focusing on empowerment, love, nurturing, wellness, and positive, productive practices. It is a collection of lessons to serve all moms into awareness and initiate self-discipline for the healing of the mind, body, and soul. So I thank you so much for everyone. And again, have a great day. And go out and get the book because we are celebrating the launch today. It is now available on Amazon. You can go to our fan page, facebook.com/Balance for Busy Moms. If you got the link off the fan page, thank you. And thank you for listening today.